going on?
How are you?
Not bad, John. Not bad. Just kind of chilling. Just kind of recovering. I had a pretty bad accident last week.
You did?
Yeah, I totaled out my new car. I just bought it, too. Like 5 months ago. 5 months ago.
You don't mind if I record and publish this, right?
Oh, of course not. Of course not. And I just wanted to thank you for doing that with the video, man. I really appreciate getting the word out there.
About your parents' vehicle?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, the way you handled those cops in that video was perfection.
I really didn't want to have to do it, but when he first came down, what I noticed most was he had read my sign, and the first thing he asked me about was recording license plate. And I'm like, I have a sign on the top that says "Stand Against Elderly Abuse," and a sign down below that says "Boycott Palm Coast Ford." Why is he asking me about license plates? You would think he'd at least ask about the elderly abuse.
You talking about the cop or the dealership?
The cop, the skinny white guy.
Yeah, he's fishing for something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was fishing, trying to set me up, is what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
And that's when I took a stand. I'm like, I'm here protesting, and he's not even supposed to make contact with me. Before I go out and I do any recording, I always pull the plat on the property. I know where all the property lines are. I check local ordinances and things like that in regards to what they could try to hem me up on. And the other thing I do is, and I have the public records request, and I have the information here, I pull their things on protests. I want to know what their policies are on interacting with protesters. And their own policy says that they are not to interact with any lawful and peaceful protesting at risk of violating the First Amendment.
Right. Now, where is that written at?
That's in their own handbook. That's what the sergeant told me. That's what I have here for the public record. That's what
when you say their handbook. Whose handbook?
That's in the Flagler County Sheriff's policies and procedures on interacting with First Amendment auditors.
So Flagler County Sheriff's Department. Okay.
Yeah, that's where that was. That was Flagler County that responded to that.
When you say when you go out, that's not your first time going out, first of all, obviously. And what other reasons?
So I have over 200 videos.
Right, so what other reasons are you going out for?
A lot of times I'll go out and do what's called First Amendment audits or investigations, testing to see if they, obey our right to record in public. And I also do a lot of, I do a mixture of like public records requests and things like that. I was a couple of years ago. I haven't really worked with them too close lately, but a couple of years ago when I was with DOG, I was doing a lot of public records requests and things like that with Jeff Gray. So I worked a lot with Jeff, and, so I learned a lot from him.
Jeff is great. I've seen some of your other stuff, too. So what got you started in all this?
Jeff, actually. I started watching his videos, and I said, I'll do that.
Is Jeff still a truck driver?
I'm not sure if he's working now or not. I noticed that he's been picking up on his doo-doo, so I'm not really sure if he's a truck driver or what he's doing right now.
Okay.
I just know that he's been picking up activity on his YouTube channel for some reason, and I'm hoping he comes back. I totally miss him, man. His investigations are the best out there.
Is everything you do in Flagler?
Oh, no. I've been out in Vegas, California, Colorado, all over the place, man.
What equipment
I've been all over the country, Texas. Huh?
What equipment do you use?
Right now I'm just down to a phone, and an old Sony Handycam.
That's all I use is a phone.
Most of the time that's really all you need. But I did like wearing a body camera.
Sure.
And I had a GoPro, but when I went out to Las Vegas, I lost my home to Irma. I went out to Vegas for a few months, and the TSA in Vegas, I believe, broke the GoPro. They smashed the lens on it.
Oh.
It's a $20 fix. Yeah.
Okay. So how many years would you say you've been into this?
I'm over 3, working on 4 now.
And before
I got into this about the same time as High Desert.
the actual going out and auditing, how about, in generally speaking, you must have had the knowledge, because you don't just go out and learn as you go. You have a good idea of what you're doing before you put foot on the street.
Yeah. So I used to watch, for many years, I've been interested in law. I've been interested in case law and stuff like that. So I watch a lot of the circuit courts and things like that on YouTube that are live. The trials are live and stuff like that. So I started watching that, and I started reading up. Like when I see people that it seems like their rights were being violated, I would do a lot of Googling. I would do a lot of reading, and I kind of just got really into it to the point where I was just fascinated, and I just kept studying it. I liked it.
Yeah, same here. Same here. Have you had any? Have you ever been arrested?
I was arrested like when I was a kid and stuff, but never as an auditor, so to speak, or an investigator. The only detainment that I had was once in Las Vegas for about 30 seconds, and their phone lines, I think they said something like 1,000 calls a minute or something like that. I don't know. It was a lot of calls, several hundred at least.
Wow,
a minute.
You were streaming live?
Yeah, I was streaming live out there. It was with a guy named Sergeant Menzie, and
go ahead.
He was pretty frustrated with me.
I'm sure. Now, the approach you took there at the dealership towards those cops, like, you wouldn't even let them finish their sentence. I absolutely love that. Is that...
Well, because it's more propaganda.
I know that. You're not giving them a chance to copsplain, basically. That's what I like about it. So...
Yeah, well,
is that
I don't go out to bait.
I'm sorry, what?
I said I don't go out to bait them. I
right.
basically just stand my ground right from the beginning, put it all out in front of them, and I don't lead them into anything. It's up to them to obey. Now,
do you take that same approach with all police forces, or you use judgment, or are you pretty much... I use some judgment, too. There's a little background to the way my aggressive style started. Back when I was a kid, I was arrested for trying to defend myself in Plainfield, Connecticut. 2 guys came to try to jump me. And the backstory to it is my dad had a massive coronary several days, actually it was 2 weeks before that. And I didn't get the message for over 10 days that he had had a heart attack. And my mom had called where I was living. I was staying above a hotel. And the bartender never told me, and they were supposed to, that something had happened and that I needed to get in touch with my parents. So when I found out finally from the owner, I went in and I called the bartender a fucking bitch. I said, I could have lost my dad 10 days ago, and I'm finding this out now? You're a fucking bitch. I'll never tip you again. Okay. And so a friend of mine, I just found out I was working for a fabric company, and I had a set of shears on me. I cut a lot of fabric at work. Mm-hmm. And my friend was just getting off stage. His name is Jeff Craig. He had a band that was performing at the hotel that I stayed at. And I was helping him load up, and I was talking to him and whatnot, and the 2 guys came out and said that they were going to kick my effing ass for talking to Gail the way I did. And that's when I reached inside my Carhartt, I pulled out my shears, and I said, well, then one of you isn't going to leave here alive tonight. Okay. Step up first. Who's first? Okay. You know? So I got arrested for disorderly conduct, is what they called it. All I was trying to do is defend myself. Did you guys end up fighting?
Well, no, they got scared. They actually told me, like, weeks later,
that I had scared the living shit out of them and that they never wanted to jump me again.
That's great.
But what happened was when I got arrested on the spot, this guy named Sergeant Todd Shaw of the Plainfield Police Department, we had grown up together, gone through school, middle school, high school, I think probably even grade school. And he told me he was going to set me up and put me in prison for the rest of my life. That's what he threatened me with.
And that's what makes people like us turn into people like us.
Exactly. You know, every mind is a world. You never know, what these people have been through. I don't know what you've been through. You don't really know what I've been through. And every mind is a world. I mean, I grew up with 13 foster brothers and sisters.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a lot of interaction when I was younger. I got my ass kicked. I kicked a little ass, and it was what it was, But, every mind is a world. And, I don't go out there because I'm scared, or I don't go out there because, I'm going to back down. I go out there for a reason. And if I'm going to go out there, what good would it do if I back down?
Yeah, it's pointless. It defeats the purpose. So,
exactly.
You said Sergeant Todd Shaw of which police department?
Plainfield, Connecticut. Plainfield Police Department, Plainfield, Connecticut.
Oh, it's way up north.
Chief. Yeah, it's way up north. The chief of police is actually, he was one of my best friends through school. I'm actually getting ready to run up there. He has done stuff with the Plainfield Police Department that is not only cutting edge, but is the maximum transparency that I've ever seen in any police department in my life.
That's great.
The body cams that they wear, they don't get to turn them on and off. They call in and they're on duty, and that's when the camera goes on. And they call in when they go off duty, and the camera goes off at the end of the shift.
Is that the cop cam, by chance?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all sent to live to the dispatch, and it's live recorded at the dispatch.
That's great.
So,
what's his name?
He's really good. His name is Michael Supernaut. He's Michael Supernaut.
All right. He's one of the
best. Yeah, he's one of the best, man. He's awesome.
That's great. So are you from Connecticut?
Yeah, I'm originally born and raised in a little town called Sterling.
How far is Flagler from Pasco? You have any idea?
Oh, gosh. Pasco's more towards Tampa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Flagler is, like, Palm Coast.
Northeast? By Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Well,
down below St. Augustine.
St. Augustine, that's what I was thinking. Ponte Vedra and all that stuff?
Yeah, you just keep going south, and it's basically before Daytona, after St. Augustine.
That's got to be a couple hours from here.
Yeah, for you, for Tampa, what's it take for you to get to Daytona?
It takes about an hour and 40 minutes to get to Orlando, so you got to throw on another half hour at least from there, right?
Yeah, so you're talking about 2.5 hours, and about 20-30 minutes from Daytona.
So, is this all you do, or do you work somewhere?
Well, I was working with Uber and Lyft, but until the 5th, I crashed my car for my birthday.
Is it insured, I hope?
Yeah, I don't think it's the greatest insurance. You're going to find out. Right. It might end up coming out of my pocket, so I'm kind of worried about that. That's why I haven't bought another car yet. I don't know if I need money.
What are you planning for on your channel in the future?
I'm planning to go out and I'm basically going to pick up my activity to every day. And I'm still going to college. I'm still studying law. So I'll do that and do my YouTube channel, and I don't know, I'll probably do some pizza delivery or something like that.
Are you looking to become an attorney?
Either an attorney or I've been actually thinking that is so much work, and with the credit and everything else that you're going to need with that, I might actually become a certified legal assistant and just get my bachelor's.
So that's the thing with this Title 42 violations. It seems like no lawyer will touch any of this stuff.
it's very tricky and it's very political. And, you know, I have 2 lawyers that I know of that will do it. And they're both used by Honor Your Oath. And one of them now, Honor Your Oath, has said on the last video that I did with my interview with him, is the attorney he's never lost with, and that's Andrew Bonderud out of Jacksonville. Bonderud Law Firm. He is amazing. He's probably one of the sharpest attorneys I've ever met in my life.
Bonderud?
Bonderude.
Bonderud.
Bonderud. Yeah, Bonderud.
That's an attorney for people like us.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, he's your man.
Okay.
Yeah, he's your man.
And he'll work anywhere in Florida, basically, right?
And he's a Florida attorney. He was actually on Facebook the other day saying, yeah, I got a case down in Orlando, my first case in Orlando. So I would imagine, yeah, if the money's there, then the attorney's there.
I hear you. All right, very good. The name of your channel is Constitutional Corner with a space in the middle, right?
Yes.
And what else would you want to say to the tens of people that are going to watch this?
Basically, you know, just read your local statutes. Do a lot of public records requests. Even if you don't want to get out there and film, send some emails. Hold some people accountable. You know, do some accountability through email and public records anonymously. You can even go to a library to do it.
How do you do an anonymous public records request?
You can actually call if you wanted to. You can, you know, go to a library or call, you know, from a number that you can either block the number or whatever. And, you know, you can either tell them email it to this email address or, I mean, there's all kinds of ways that you can do it. But you don't have to show ID under 119. That's not necessary.
What about 119? Say that again.
Under Chapter 119, Florida and the Sun, the Open Records Act for public records requests, it's not ID and you know, saying who you are is unnecessary because the records are open to the public. It doesn't matter who you are.
And that's Chapter 119 of the Florida statutes, right?
Yeah. I forget what section or whatever, but
that's all right.
I know that you don't have to show ID. I've never had to show ID for.
So otherwise people can participate that don't want to actually get out there, because it's not easy to get out there. It's time consuming. Florida's hot, and you have to know and be super confident in what you're doing.
Well, not only that, but, you know, it can be dangerous.
Yeah.
Not only, you know, from the public accountability people, but from, you know, the standpoint of a citizen who really doesn't understand why we do what we're doing. I mean, I see a lot of people out there that are like, why are you guys bothering the police? Why don't you just let them do their job? And what they don't understand is once these cops get out of any kind of training and they're out on their own, besides a complaint here and there, there's nothing that's ever checked up on them. Their attitudes don't get checked. None of it. There's no oversight for that. And we really need oversight. And we need civilian oversight because we've proven time and time again that policing police result in nothing.
How about the police unions? What do we do about that?
Man, I honestly don't know. That's way above my intelligence level, to be honest with you. You know, to me, honestly, get rid of the unions and or keep the unions and switch things to a well, you know, a doctor, a carpenter, a plumber, a nurse. All these people have to carry personal insurance in case they do wrong.
Yes.
And my thing is that when you file these complaints and you go to court, after the court thing, it gets buried in their file. And even if they get caught 3, 4, 5 times, nothing happens to them because of the union.
Right.
And it just seems to me that, you know, if you get an insurance on them, if they violate enough times and that insurance says, well, we're no longer going to insure you or bond you for this job,
well, then that's how you clip the wings, so to speak, of people that are out of your reach.
As far as unions go, I don't understand how a public entity like the police force, who is supposed to be part of the government, can form a union. How does that make any sense?
It doesn't to me either. They're the enforcement branch of the judicial branch. They're enforcement. They're regulated under the Constitution, written into the Constitution. So they should be just as liable as any soldier. You know, if you're a soldier and you go overseas and you commit, crimes against humanity, you kill people unnecessarily or whatever, you're going to be held liable under the UCMJ.
Sure.
Why do we not have a similar guideline for these officers who are, they have, even though the courts say they don't have to protect our rights and they don't have to know the law and all this other crap, when it all comes down to it, they do need to know the law. They do need to know your rights because they do need to know how to avoid violating your rights. You can't just send these people out and unarmed. And I'm going to tell you right now, I took at St. John's River State, I took criminal justice and I took constitutional law. And those are two requirements for the police. And everything that I say in my videos and everything that I go out and I say is covered in those two classes. So these cops, they're backing down because they know that what I'm saying is 100% fact.
What are the two things, if you would say them specifically?
Okay, so things like Chapter 21, Title 42, United States Code, Section 1983, which is a deprivation of right. Mm-hmm. 1985 is similar, although I believe the 1985 is to recover the attorney's fees. 1981 would be like discrimination against the protected class, female, transgender, gay, that sort of thing. That would be a violation of federal law under 42 U.S.C. Section 1981.
Sure.
So that would be like, some of the things I would start reading, like Chapter 21, if people wanted to understand a real hard understanding of their rights. Go read Chapter 21 of the United States Code, and it'll really enlighten you, especially when you get to Title 42.
So it's Title 42 of the U.S. statutes, Section 1981 through 1985.
I would read them all. 1989. I mean, there's so much information in there, and it goes far beyond that. And once you put that ammo in place, when these situations arise, you've already got that ammo ready to say.
Exactly.
And it neutralizes it. I was just doing those for example, but I mean, those are really good places to start. And it's a really good thing to know, because a lot of things I found with the intimidation factor is the fact that they're intimidating you based on the fact that they know you don't know your rights, because 90% of the people don't know their rights. The United States has 2.2% of the world's human population. We have 2.2% of humans in this country. Mm-hmm. We have 3/4 of the world's imprisoned population in this country.
That's right.
There's an intrinsic problem here.
And supposedly we're the freest country in the world.
For the freest country in the world, you better not screw up, dude.
Exactly. Yeah, as long as you don't leave your house, you're good.
Yeah, if you can afford the maids and you can afford the people to go grocery shopping for you, and you don't have to take your kids to the doctor, and you should be okay.
I don't know what it is about this area I live in, but I literally can't go more than 3-4 miles without seeing police from my home.
They're everywhere, and they're expanding. And in 1997, Bill Clinton signed, along with the NAFTA agreement, had signed another thing, and it authorized furtherance of the military, the military to police interactions. They can, take M4s, they can, get all these big vehicles, the MRAPs and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. They can get that all for free just for the shipping, basically, from wherever they are. Usually it's like Red River Army Depot or up in Pennsylvania. But they can get all of this stuff for free, just paying the shipping, and that's usually no more than $600 to $1,200.
Yeah.
But Bill Clinton authorized all of this. Now, put this in mind. We live in a country right now where there's a quote-unquote, and this is from the government, quoted from the government, there is a war on drugs, right?
Sure.
Okay, so if there's a war on drugs, and we've paramilitarized or militarized the police, then wouldn't that be a violation of posse comitatus?
I mean, the police violate posse comitatus. I mean, they act like a platoon. They act like a military unit. The thing is, who are you going to get to admit that? They're never going to.
Right. But it does sound like a violation of posse comitatus, doesn't it?
I mean, our police force is a standing army at this point, and yes, that would violate posse comitatus, the right of the military to enforce civilian law, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, the right to even put a military against its citizens. It doesn't have the right to put a military against its citizens.
Right. Like they did after Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah, they can't go get the National Guard and start hunting down citizens and killing them just because they're National Guard. You know, I mean,
they wouldn't
this is
took
what the
people's
cops are
guns,
doing.
though.
And this is what they're doing.
Yeah.
This is exactly what they're doing. Right. We know it. We see it.
I mean, the thing is, if you're 20 or if you're 15 or 20, like when we were, I don't know how old you are, but I'm 43. When I was a kid, you rarely ever saw a cop, first of all. Secondly, when you did, it wasn't, if you didn't have your ID, they say, hey, you got your social security number. Everything was so much more laid back. They weren't trying to raise revenue on you. They weren't trying to escalate every 2 seconds, and they were far less violent than they were now. And they were trained to shoot low, and that your gun was your absolute last resort. Now it's like everything's been flipped on its head.
Yeah, I agree. And there's an even further problem, and it's an intrinsic problem with the citizens of the United States. And this goes to each and every one of us, and I was very guilty of it, and so were you before you became informed.
Apathy.
The problem that we have is that everything is being bred out of us. If you look back to the 1800s, everybody carried a constitution in their back pocket or their purse.
Mm-hmm.
When you come into the early 1900s, a lot of patriotism, but the thing about, this and that with the Constitution, people really stopped paying attention. They were more interested in the peace after World War I. So there was no real, it wasn't as common as it was in the 1800s.
And and there was...
Get to the 1950s,
yeah.
and people are softer now. They're starting to be told because of, all of the FBI raids and all that through the 20s with the string of 20s and everything. Just respect cops and just do what they tell you and it'll be okay. Mm-hmm. And that's where it all started.
You got it. And
that's
really,
where it all started. And now
from the late 90s on is really when it got bad.
Oh, yeah, but now in the 2000s, in the 21st, we're talking about we took cursive out of school. How are you supposed to read the founding documents?
Took what out of
school? You can't read cursive.
Oh, cursive.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all written in type now, but the thing is, they don't even teach it. They don't really bring it up or explain how important it is or how it pertains to modern day. And it's,
right.
And its value. Nothing I hate more than when someone says, oh, that old outdated thing. And I'll say, give me one example of how the Constitution is outdated. And then they turn into a blank zombie. Because if they had never even scratched the surface of what the Constitution is or what it means in the modern world.
Exactly. And it's really funny. It's almost treated today like religion.
it's kind of like the Constitution is kind of treated like religion. Hokey, old, outdated, blah, blah, blah. And that's pretty much how society has, started to view religions. All the wars and all of the things that have happened, doesn't matter what religion you are. There's war and death involved. So a lot of people are kind of saying, not so much for the religion now, too. That's becoming more and more common in society.
So, I forgot to ask, maybe not your real name, or what name do you go by in real life?
My real name is Maddie Joy Langlois. The middle name is Joy because I bring people joy, sometimes when I'm coming, sometimes when I'm leaving.
What's the first name?
Maddie, Maddie.
Okay. Oh, my friend's daughter's named Maddie. Maddie, it's been a pleasure, and I love your stuff.
Thank you.
And I want to tell everyone to go to Constitutional Corner, and subscribe to Maddie. She does excellent work. She knows what she's talking about, and she's not scared to take it to the streets like me. I'm scared to sweat. You know what, though? I would definitely... The thing is, going out by myself, I start thinking about, oh, man, it's hot. This is boring. Is anything ever going to happen? But maybe if you and I were there, or me and whoever, some good auditor, we could chill with each other, talk about, have content to talk about, and do the audit at the same time. And I would love to hook up.
Definitely will. I'll hit you up when I come down there. As soon as I can get a car back on the road. I've got a car to use, but I'm giving it to Nick. So everything is kind of up in limbo right now. But as soon as I can get down there, man, hell yeah, I'll do some. I'll go out there with you and record.
You got my personal.
We'll do some cop watching.
Sure, you got my personal number now, right?
Yes.
All right, you call me anytime you want, Maddie. I appreciate the interview. I'm sorry it took so long. Thanks for moderating my stream yesterday and all that good stuff.
I was having fun.
It was fun. I actually enjoyed that yesterday. So let's do it again, and thank you so much. And everyone, subscribe to Constitutional Corner.
Thanks for all you do too, man, for the community. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thanks so much, and we'll talk again.
No problem, John. Take care.